So I just got done watching Star Trek, the original series, season 3, episode number 15, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield. This is a really famous episode of Star Trek. It attempts to show racism for how stupid it is, and racism is quite stupid. In this episode, it's the Lokai and the Beale. They are mirror images of each other, right? One dude is black on the right side and one dude is black on the left side. And they're white on the other side. And so it's the story of showing how kind of moronic the pursuit is. In this situation, Beale is the oppressor and Lokai is the oppressed. That is made very clear through the dialogue. If you watch the episode, you will see it very clearly that Lokai, even though he stole a space shuttle, he was trying to escape. He committed a crime in order to save his own life. I can apply that to my life. I stole a laptop so that I could do my homework, and I almost copped a felony charge because of it. Thankfully, my white privilege allowed me to have it pled down to a misdemeanor, and that saved my life. Otherwise, I would be a convicted felon. So I understand why Lokai stole a shuttlecraft. He was just trying to save his own life, and he even says as such. He was just using it, and he was going to give it back. So Lokai is the oppressed. He is a criminal. Yes, he is a criminal. He has done bad things. But he is the oppressed. What's interesting in this show is how the cast of the Enterprise reflects our society. And this is a lesson that I think is often missed by people who watch this episode. We like to focus on the two characters who are mirror images of each other, and we don't so much focus on what is or is not being said or done by the cast. We don't want to ask those questions. Like, why didn't the cast try to sit these two men down and have them talk to each other? Why did the cast of the Enterprise sit down and have drinks with Beale, who is the oppressor? Why did the cast of the Enterprise take the side of the oppressor in most cases until Lokai had to prove to the cast of the Enterprise that their laws required them to protect him? So in a sense, the cast of the Enterprise was also the oppressor. And this is proven out in this episode. Had the cast of the Enterprise asked the question, why do you hate each other? And ask both people, asked the history, asked for the story. They did not ask this. Had Sulu could have asked that, that would have been an interesting representation of diversity. Another thing that could have happened was Uhura, another opportunity for representation of diversity. She could have said, hey, you guys are mirror images of each other. And she could have had one guy stand next to a mirror and have the other guy look at the two things and see that his mirror image is exactly the other man. And he would have been confused by what he saw, because he would be looking at himself, but looking at a man who is not himself. And that might have made him think, wait, are we the same? We're mirror images of each other. Maybe we are the same. They could have solved their problems. The cast of the Enterprise just stood by and did nothing. Then at the end, when they found that the planet had been burned to a crisp because this race hadn't solved its problem, the crew of the Enterprise yet again did nothing. They just stood by and watched Beale chase Lokai to his death. They stood by and they did nothing, which is, again, an interesting comparison to what is happening in society today. The crew of the Enterprise is the educated left. The crew of the Enterprise is general American society. We stand back and we do nothing as a fascist oppressor takes everything and will continue to take more and more. They've taken everything from black people. They're going to start taking everything from brown people. Eventually they'll get to the Asian people, and they're already doing it to the poor white people too. This is not so much of a race struggle, although it is now, because a clearly white supremacist person has taken control of the government. So the black people in America, they are preparing to go into camps. That's what they're preparing for. Hispanic Americans, they are trying to figure out if they who were born in the US and have lived in the US their entire lives are now going to be no longer considered citizens, and if they're going to be declared as illegal. American citizens, veterans of the US military, may lose their citizenship as a result of what's happening right now. That's the reality. And us, the white people, we just stand by and we let it happen. We just watch. We are the crew of the Enterprise. We are educated, but we are ignorant.